I love being a foreigner. I speak with a natural, lovely foreign accent. I don't even have to fake it. And I have a lovely Chinese name, Xing Yan Chong. That telemarketer can never pronounce it right. And that's how I know exactly when someone called and said, "May I speak to Xing Yan?" Now that's the time I hang up because I know that's not someone I know. It must be telemarketer. So to make everybody's life easy, I decided to call myself Julia. Julia Chong. Easy, right? No. People were so insist on calling me Xing Yan and asked me to repeat that again so they can pronounce it right. I appreciate how they respect my culture, but I also don't want to make pain, cause pain in this world. I love being a foreigner in America. It's so easy to make small talk. You just have to talk about weather, and it doesn't matter whether it's the same or different from yesterday. It's raining, it's windy, it's snowing, it's not snowing. It's too cold, it's too hot, it's too humid, it's too ordinary, just a normal day. Endless possibilities. Unlike in Taiwan, where I'm from, we don't talk about weather unless there's a typhoon, flood, or earthquake. In Taiwan, small talks are very personal. When we greet each other, instead of saying "How are you?" we say "Did you eat?" And yes, the standard answer for the question "How are you?" is "Fine, thank you." And the standard answer for "Did you eat?" is "Yes, I did." And nobody cares about you actually ate or not. Please answer "Did you eat?" and "Yes, I ate." I love being a foreigner in Chicago. It's been 6 years. I live right by the Water Tower Place. Magnificent miles, museum of contemporary art, horse carriage, cameras. I feel like a tourist in my own neighborhood. Actually, I've been treated like a tourist in my own neighborhood. People always like to ask me, "Where are you from?" The expectation is obviously that I'm not supposed to say I live here, even I've been here for 6 years. To satisfy their curiosity, I always say, "I'm from Taiwan." You know the democracy side of China? When you see the ethnicity question in a US census, I'm in a category of Asian or Pacific Islander. You know, Taiwan is an island that's of course from mainland China. I love Chinese restaurants here in the US. Many of them are as Chinese as Taco Bell's to Mexican. Basically, you need only one magic sauce to open a Chinese restaurant. So you can make sweet and sour chicken, sweet and sour pork, sweet and sour beef, and sweet and sour shrimp. You'll be all set. How convenient. I also enjoy using fork to eat rice, which I've never done it before in Taiwan. It's not really intuitive that who would thought using fork to eat rice? You cannot poke holes on the rice like how you poke fruit or steak. And that's not the best part. I remember the first time I see fortune cookie, the real one. I was so excited because it just looked exactly like the fortune cookie we see on TV in Taiwan. We never seen the real one before. And so does the origami takeout box. That's not nowhere to be found in Taiwan. And I don't understand why they say that's a Chinese thing. I've been a foreigner in America for 13 years. Last year when I went home, I realized I have become a foreigner in Taiwan too. I use fork to eat rice at home. My mom was very surprised. I use my hand to eat pizza in a Pizza Hut. The whole room was staring at me.
Wait, did you repeat that?
I use my hand to eat pizza at Pizza Hut.
Pizza.
Right. about weathers with strangers. Even the weather is pretty much constant in Taiwan. I'm somewhat Americanized, but only half-baked. Yes. How's the time?
Started a little late, but it's pretty close to 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I forget, you want the book? Shoot.
Vocal variety. Yeah.
Vocal variety. Yes.
Spoke foreign language
Thoughts,
very well.
ideas?
I have several ideas.
Yes, please.
Well, I loved about your joke about your accent being real. I would suggest you might say, you probably noticed my accent. Yes, it's real. I'm not faking it.
I like that.
And also, you could talk about, you love American small talk, but sometimes you think you'd like to try Taiwanese small talk, and just walk up to someone and instead of talking about the weather, say, did you eat? Just to see the look on their face. And then you can go into how that's the common thing. Also, the whole thing about the fork I really liked. Seinfeld has a really funny bit that he did on his show where he talks about Chinese people and he says they're always using chopsticks and they have seen the fork, they understand the fork, but they're going with the chopsticks. So I actually, when you were talking about using your fork in Taiwan, I was thinking, oh, so your mom actually does have forks? And I would lead with the, yes, they do have forks in Taiwan, and you use it for eating your pizza like any decent person. My mother was disgusted when I started eating my pizza with my hands, and then just confused when I ate the rice with a fork. So,
Yep.
also, I did like the only one sauce, except I did think of every place has soy sauce too. So you got 2 sauces, sweet and sour and soy.
Yeah, you want to be clear what that sauce is. All you have to do is just one sauce, and then say sweet and sour sauce.
Got
It's
it.
the magic ingredient. Sweet and sour sauce and anything turns you into Chinese food. Guy could have tattoos, walking in there sweating, have a big cigarette come out of his mouth. It's Chinese food. You've got sweet and sour shrimp, sweet and sour chicken, sweet and sour pork, sweet and sour broccoli. It's as authentic as you get.
Possibly sweet and sour shoes.
Sweet and sour shoes.
Just because that's ridiculous, but
Okay.
if it's slap some sweet and sour on it, and anybody will eat it.
That's it.
I like that.
So now we're getting a lot of ideas. Now the goal is to go back.
Right, you gotta cut
Yeah.
it down.
No. Do
Hold on,
it
not
and-
yet, not yet.
And reset.
Okay.
Using these
Yes.
ideas, and we'll see what works and what doesn't.
One quick thing about one thing I was trying to, so apparently I didn't stick with the script to the words because one feedback I got yesterday, it wasn't clear to the audience that we don't use fork to eat rice in Taiwan, or we never seen fortune cookie or the origami box before in Taiwan.
Yeah.
It wasn't clear.
You've
to me
never seen
anyway.
it? Oh, well, yeah, origami is Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Japanese. And we never have that takeout box like for rice. You know, they have
Yeah,
those.
Oh, I don't think of that as an origami box. We think of that just as a takeout box.
Takeout box, yeah.
Yeah, so you
How
call
would
it
you describe the
Takeout
box?
box.
Takeout
Takeout
box.
box.
or takeout carton.
Yeah, or you
Takeout
call it a
carton.
Chinese takeout box.
Yeah, because that's the little pyramid. That's what everybody would call it, Chinese
Chinese
takeout.
takeout box, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We want you to have that.
So the thing about it is that all this stuff is great. But
Yes.
the goal overall of humor, and the thing that's going to, simplest way to do it, is you make a serious remark and you make a smart aleck remark. You make a serious remark, you make a smart aleck remark. So you say, you know, I go over there and I come over here, you know, and people ask me and they say, you know, why don't you eat chopsticks? And my question is, why don't you? Have you seen those things? I was delighted when I came over here and I finally found the solution to chopsticks. I I learned my whole life how to pick that stuff up. I was working and working. There are courses on chopsticks. I discovered the fork. I'm never going back.
And you could even say, and you know, Americans are right. It's not easy to eat rice with those chopsticks. A fork is way better.
A fork is way better. In fact, I went back. I was going to evangelize Taiwan. I went back with that fork and I shocked the heck out of everybody. I started forking in all the rice. I started forking everything. I brought the fork and put it right down on the table. Mother was horrified. She started to disown me if I didn't put it away immediately. She said I brought shame on the family.
And then, when she brought out the pizza, she was even more disgusted because I was eating it with my finger
And then she
instead
brought
of
the
with a
things
fork.
she knew I'd eat with a knife and a fork. A pizza.
Yeah.
And I went away. I put away the fork and I got her
That's
to
true.
the and I bit it. I'm just saying, the idea is if it's a serious thing,
Yeah.
and that's it. So it really, it's a matter of not so much of writing everything down, it's a matter of seeing what worked.
But you're right. I never thought of it before, the exact rhythm of it, but you're right. It has to be
Like
Serious
straight
words
and
and
smart.
then funny.
Serious.
Straight, funny.
The best description I heard was smart Alec Mark. You know, when you're making a wisecrack. It was, hey, you need some sort of smart guy? That's the sort of thing. Say, you know, like when you say to somebody, you said, how do you feel? We go, like this. That's a smart Alec Mark. But it's very funny.
My boss is pretty much a full-time smart aleck,
Yeah,
so that would be something that he
You would definitely do.
Yeah.
So and the other thing is the rhythm.
the rhythm.
The
Yeah.
rhythm of humor is pause, punchline, pause. One of the most famous jokes you probably heard this from before is, you know, take my wife, please. To be pretty much an extended American idiom has been used to death, but it's a good example of that pause, punchline, pause. So whenever you're going to have that, you talk about, and I went over there and I discovered an amazing thing I've never seen before in Taiwan. Fork. Genius! You guys are genius! You solved the problem there the longest time. Have you ever tried picking up little pieces of stuff with little sticks? It ain't easy. I discovered the fork. I said, of course.
And you can say, and we Taiwanese don't like to admit this, that it is really hard to use those sticks. But it's true.
Exactly.
Here's an ancient Chinese secret. Chopsticks are hard to use.
Ancient Chinese
Yeah, she probably doesn't get.
chopsticks are hard to use.
There used to be a famous commercial for
Exactly.
laundry detergent where you see
Something
somebody.
secret.
Yeah, ancient Chinese secret, this detergent.
And that brings you to the next thing, is taglines. Once you have a joke that works, like the fork, all you got to do is keep referring back to the
Right.
fork, and they're called taglines.
Right.
And you get them afterwards. So you talk about, hey, you discovered the fork. And the tagline would be, you know how many people in Taiwan would love to find out about this? And another tagline would be, I decided it's my job, my duty, to take it back to them. My mother was horrified. All these things are taglines based on the fork.
And actually, that brings up something that I think you could also do, which might even make your job easier. Prop comedy. Bring in some stuff that you've never seen. The Chinese takeout carton, the fork, stuff never seen in Taiwan.
Exactly. And you could have the fork in your pocket and you say, it's the fork.
Yeah.
And just hold it like this and look like you're amazed.
The pen is mightier than the sword. The fork is mightier than the chopsticks.
And then bring out, then you have in the other pocket, bring the chopsticks.
Right.
And you said, tell me the truth, which one would you rather use? I went back to Taiwan and I said, come on, be serious. Which one are you, this thing or this thing? Now be honest. My mother insisted you use the fork, but you wouldn't look me in the eye when she said it. So all these things are just taglines based on this idea. So try it again. Think about pause, punchline, pause, and just think of all the smart alecky things you can do, and try to get to the humor as quickly as you can.
Also, because you don't have enough to think about right now, shorter sentences are better.
Right. It's setup punch. Setup punch, and the shorter the setup, the better, the bigger the punch.
And it's also especially good for you because you do have an accent, which it's far less than it was, but it is a little bit, sometimes people have to stop to think, oh, what word was that? So the shorter it is, the less thinking they have to do.
So setup punch would be exactly the beginning. You'd say, yes, it's true. Serious line. I'm a foreigner. And then tagline. I know you probably couldn't figure that out. Believe it or not, I've had people ask me. And all this stuff set up. So you've got your setup line and then your punch. Some people will ask, some won't, but then that's when you use taglines and see what works. One of the taglines.
Yeah, I've had people ask me, no, my accent isn't fake.
Exactly. I've had people, and that's the other thing is dialogue.
Yeah.
So I had people ask me, so is that a real accent or a fake accent? And I answered, do you think I really want to fake this accent? In comedies, when I'm also realizing, really was put well in a book I read recently about called, this talks about threes. Target, hostility, realism, exaggeration, emotion, surprise.
That's 5.
All human. Three. By now it's called threes, T-H-R-E-E-S.
Oh, I see.
Confuse the heck out of me too. Threes, 5, they're threes.
What was that again?
Write it down. Target.
Target.
There's got to be a target for shooting. In this case, it's basically foreigners. Hostility.
Hostility.
Bring some hostility to it. Realism. Something that people can identify with. Exaggeration. Blowing things up big. Emotion. Showing your emotion. And surprise. So, if, for instance, if you had like that fork hidden away, and you said it's, then your face would look, really intense, really, it's a fork. And a lot of the humor would be your facial reaction, all that sort of stuff, and your voice. Really good.
How about closing? I feel like my closing is a bit weak.
Yeah, closing is another thing. We were telling pretty much, you're doing shtick, you're doing stand-up up there. Closing isn't as important, just as long as you pretty much stop.
But I do think she could probably come up with some line to end it, especially if she's dealing with whatever you happen to be ending with. If you are talking about the fork, you
could finish with, you close up saying, so just a little bit of advice. Remember nothing else, just remember this. If you ever go to Taiwan, take your fork.
Yes. BYO fork.
Yeah.
BYO fork.
Oh, that would be another tagline in the middle.
Yeah.
You heard of BYOB over there, over in Taiwan, it'd be BYOF. BYO fork. Well, if you want to do it that way, here's an idea. You could do it like an AA meeting.
Yeah.
You can say, hello, my name is Julia Chung, and I am a foreigner.
No.
I think that would be.
I actually thought about
Who's the
that
audience?
too. Yeah. In the comedy.
It's a kind of
This is Second City.
Oh, this is comedy.
It is.
Yes. I mean, I know the lecture music and the note here.
No, it's okay. Just try something and tell me if it's funny or not. That's the whole
Okay.
thing. Be funny and tell your story. Story's easy. Humor is a challenge. We'll help you.
Okay. Well, start with the open up too. Hi. My name is Julia Chong. I'm a foreigner. Julia is not even my real name. My real name is Xingyan Chong. That nobody can pronounce it right, so I changed it.
Just a suggestion.
Yes.
You can then say, I can't pronounce it right myself.
That is true, because the right way.
No.
Yeah,
Just
I
say-
can't even pronounce it right myself.
So try it again. My name
Yeah.
is.
My name is Julia Chong. I'm a foreigner. Actually, Julia is not even my real name. My real name is Xingyan Chong, which nobody can pronounce it right. Even I can pronounce it right. Does that work?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think that works.
Okay?
That's a tagline.
Yeah?
It contains the idea of unpronounceable names to the
Mhm.
exaggeration.
And actually, I never noticed this before, but you're not even pronouncing your last name right.
That is true.
That's the way you spell
That's
it.
the
You would
English
pronounce
way.
it Chong, but you're pronouncing it Chong.
The right way to pronounce it is Zhong.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. What's silent?
Yeah, you can go
You
into
can go into
that.
that. You
What's
can
silent in it?
what the challenge is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought you had taken care of your name by changing the Xinyan to Julia, but people still keep mispronouncing your last name. It's
Oh,
Chong.
and then you can call them out and say, Phil, keep
And
pronounce
then-
the last name. Like they said, like Chong, like it's a bell or something.
Yeah, and actually, Chong.
And then the next line would be, I'm thinking of changing to Smith.
Possibly Johnson.
Yeah, maybe Johnson.
Baker.
Smith Johnson. Yeah. Okay.
So try that again and bring off the changes as we talked about.
And one of the good things about that too, I think, is besides the fact that it's a simple concept for people to understand, they remember your name. They're
Right.
going to remember this about you.
Right. So just try that again and just all the stuff we talked about.
Okay.
You can do it.
Hi. My name is Julia Chong. I'm a foreigner. Actually, my name is Julia is not my real name. My real name is Xingyan Chong. That nobody can pronounce it right. Even I didn't pronounce it right. It's supposed to pronounce like Xingyan Zhong.
Small suggestion.
Yes.
Pause. After you say each punchline.
Mhm.
No one can pronounce it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pronounce it right.
Pause. I can't even pronounce it.
Mm.
Pause. It's
It's actually, that's even, in Chinese we put the last name first. So if my mom called me, it's gonna be like Zhong Xingyan.
But isn't her last name Zhong? I mean, isn't that your family name?
Yeah, but put the
My
family
mom
name
would never
first.
call me O'Hara Shannon. I mean, the O'Hara is just a given.
but you can bring changes off of that. You
Yeah.
can say, and my mom would actually pronounce it differently. And then you can say, actually, we have family debates about which way to pronounce my name.
Yes.
And which one should go first and which one should go second.
Which name should be first?
So try that again.
And I have one other suggestion. You're starting out very, very low energy, and I think that's off-putting to the audience because they're like, "Are you scared? Is she gonna cry? Is this?" I think you can be perfectly cheerful about it,
Right?
but which is a little higher energy.
Okay. Let's try it out. One more time. See? Hi. My name is Julia. I'm a foreigner. Actually, my name is not really Julia. My name is Xingyan. That nobody can pronounce it right. Even I can pronounce it right. It's supposed to be Xingyan.
After I can't pronounce it right,
Right.
stop.
That's not.
And then pause there.
Right.
That's the second joke.
Okay.
And then go on. No.
And did you say my name is Xinyan that nobody can pronounce it right? It should be but nobody can pronounce it right,
But okay.
which is why you can't go with it.
Yes. All right. Yes.
This is the comedy process.
Yes, I know.
And after a while, no one laughs when you've heard this
need
thing
more
so many
time.
times.
I just need more
But it'll-
time to stimulate.
But it'll work.
Think
It's all
that
right.
fast.
You'll be able to see after.
Okay.
And it should be fairly easy for you to remember too, because basically introduction. So you're just gonna say your name, so it should be easy for you to remember. And if you
Yeah.
kind of mess up the words a little, not that big a deal, because you're still getting the idea across.
And small suggestion,
Yeah.
just a little bit of reaction. Hi, my name is Julia Chung. Actually, that's not my name. So a little pause if you're thinking about it and thinking it over. And then,
And if you could look embarrassed, that would be even better.
yeah, sure, that'd be good. Okay, but
Like
look
you're
at-
trying not to lie to us, and you keep catching yourself themselves and.
We don't want to dump on you too much stuff,
Yeah.
so just try that.
Okay.
And don't worry about writing it all down, this, it'll all be up there. Be back.
Ah, you're doing fine.
That's that spirit. That's
Okay,
it.
that's the spirit.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Julia Chong. I'm a foreigner. Actually, my name is not really Julia. My name is Xingyan Chong. Nobody can pronounce it right. Even I can pronounce it right. Make sense?
Yes, it does. And I was thinking, oh, really? What?
Yeah, good, keep going.
What did your mother say about it?
Yeah,
My mom.
then we're going to talk about your mother, how she reverses.
My mother actually called me Zhong Xingyan. Did it sound anything like remotely like Julia Chong?
No.
But anyway, I have to find a justification here.
No, then the next thing is just say, then, actually, we have debates around my family about what's the right way to say it. We try different combinations and see which one
Yeah, but
works.
that's not true.
I know, it's exaggeration.
I know this is.
But
part
you
of-
don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So you can finish off that topic by saying, so when I came here, it was just easier to call me Julia,
Mhm.
and then you can close out like this little piece if you wish.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
want. If you're not comfortable with it, you don't want to go with it, that's fine. Take it as far as you want, because, keep it all in work if you're committed to it.
I like the idea where you say sometimes in your culture you say the last name first.
That is true. And I think
okay.
actually that's an important point to
Yeah,
mention.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought that would be important to insert.
So my name really should be
Chong Julia.
Tom Julia.
Right.
That's what my mother calls me.
Now we get it.
Exactly. So, okay, so take us back with the mother comment, and then use
No,
this-
I think I'm done. Really,
Okay.
seriously.
I
I
would
need
move
more
on to
time to
the-
assimilate.
Yeah, I would move
okay.
on to the foreigner part of your thing because I really liked that about you.
Thank you.
Probably noticed my accent, and people come up to you and ask if you're a foreigner. I think that's very funny.
I will build that into, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think even for the core idea of this speech, I love being a foreigner, which is a thought, but I think maybe is to focus on the differences between the two cultures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of humor comes from. You basically, you do the fish out of water thing.
Mm.
You say, yeah, when I came over to coming over here,
And even when when you were living in Taiwan, you were a fish in your correct pond. You came over here, you're a fish out of water, and then when you went back there, suddenly you don't fit in that pond either.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is
Like,
very true.
if you want to do the thing that you have chopsticks, you take out the chopsticks and say, over in Taiwan, we call this a fork.
Hey, wait, what?
This
We
is
do have fork in Taiwan.
Well,
We
how
just
come
don't
we
use
don't
it for
use them
rice.
all the time? That's what Seinfeld asked, and that's what I don't understand.
We use
either.
it for fruit only or steak. We don't use it for rice.
Well, why can't?
Which is the biggest
Why would you-
secret. Like,
Why? Why can't you? I don't understand. Why?
Well, then you can talk about that.
Yeah.
You say, you may think we've never seen these things before, to pull out a fork. But actually we have forks over there. We just don't use them for rice.
And what is the reason?
And then the answer is, then you look at the audience and say, I don't know why they don't either. I started using it once I got over here. Suddenly I started using this fork all the time. It's amazing.
And when you're using it on fruit, are you also using a knife with it?
no. But if we eat, so Barbara missed the fork part. That like in Taiwan, we don't use fork to eat rice.
You use the chopsticks?
Chopstick.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly hard. I can use chopsticks reasonably well, but rice is really hard.
But actually, the first time I tried to use fork to eat rice, I was like, really? Why don't you people use chopstick for rice? This is so hard. It is hard.
What about, is it a possibility that people who eat a lot of rice and use chopsticks seem to be slimmer in size?
Because you can't figure out.
Yeah, we can't. And maybe that is the reason. Maybe maybe it is your secret Chinese diet plan.
Yeah.
You just can't eat a lot when you have to
can't
eat
eat a lot.
Because you certainly can't get a whole lot of
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that's why I gain weight here. That's why I gained 30 pounds when I came to the US.
Right.
This is why. Now I found the reason.
And then you call out your audience and say, you try to pick up a bunch of rice with a pair of sticks. I came over here and discovered the fork, I was shoveling it in like this.
Yeah.
Well,
Here's the
here's
result.
the cure for America's
And I ate 3
obesity
times more
problem.
food.
Chopsticks.
That's it. I gained 30 pounds right there. I was moving from chopsticks over to fork.
Yeah, that's right.
I blame America. It's all your fault. But that's another thing you could do. You could
Yeah,
also
this
do
is
it,
cool.
do the fish out of water thing a different way. Like Taiwan's the normal and we're strange. It's another way to do it. So you people here, you do weird things like when you're eating pizza, you don't use the knife and fork. I mean, what's with that?
Yeah.
Why don't you just,
It's a rule,
you pick it up?
barbarian.
Exactly.
You want to eat your pizza like the animals?
That's right. There you go.
All over Africa, monkeys are eating pizza
They're
with their
eating pizza like
hands.
this. So if you're seeing pizza, first thing, oh, pizza! You eat pizza like Homer Simpson. See, now if you actually were sophisticated, you'd use a knife and fork very nicely. That's the
right.
proper way to do it.
Exactly.
What's wrong with you people? So you could do that one too. You could say,
Yeah.
talk about things in Taiwan, and you're the weird ones. What's wrong with you people? We eat pizza like this. There's only one way you should eat pizza, and that's again when you can take out the chopstick, the fork.
Oh, work. Yeah, work.
This
Nice.
is the tool.
This is the right tool.
Unless, of course, you need to eat rice, in which case you need to eat. You can stop, believe me, you can stop the gluttony epidemic.
And you can also do an
overnight with
audience
these things.
interaction. After you've done that, you can say, now I'm going to give you a little quiz. I serve you a nice plate of fruit. What are you going to use? Which one's the correct one?
That's it. Yeah.
I think it would be real cool too to have a jacket where you could pull out those.
Yeah.
The jacket with inside.
Search for something I can hide the props. I like the props I need.
Well, that's the way of hiding props, because it's great at that. And you can be dramatic about it. But you can say, I can stop the obesity epidemic overnight, with these things. Everybody from now on has to eat rice with this. You'll slim down like that. Hamburgers
And everything else,
and
apparently.
everything else.
Anything else?
Except for pizza and fruit.
That's right. Except for pizza and fruit, because that would be wrong.
And disgusting.
Disgusting.
And now we have solved the obesity problem in America.
That's right. Just everything you eat with chopsticks. Believe me, you're gonna slim down like that. Took me 5 years to figure out how to use these things.
And in fact, that's also a way you can get started and say, my name is Julia Chun, and I'm here to tell you tonight that I have solved the obesity problem in the United States. I've been here 5 years. I put on 30 pounds. I couldn't figure out why.
That's it.
I thought I was just catching it from all the fat Americans around
That's
me.
it. I thought it was a virus. I got to be around fat people, and I just started getting fat too. I didn't know what happened.
And then I went back home, and my mother caught me eating rice with a fork. And she said, what are you doing? And blah, blah, blah.
Or you could say I discovered it, and the whole secret is,
But
and
yeah.
I like the presentation, this America will solve your obesity epidemic overnight.
I see it now. I see it now.
Yes.
A winner.
Chopsticks. Just
Chopsticks.
Chopsticks. Chopsticks are the answer to all your problems. The problems
Also
you
a
deal with-
really good song on the piano.
Yeah, there you go.
Dum 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 dum
Chopstick?
dum 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 dum. It's a song.
Oh.
It's the first song usually children learn to play.
Yeah, you can say, yes, it's not just a great song on the piano, it's also a utensil.
Most people think it's like one of the most annoying songs ever on the piano. Yeah.
because you play with your fingers.
Right.
Yeah,
Dun,
two
dun, dun,
fingers.
dun, dun, dun,
When,
dun, dun,
when
dun,
people
dun.
can't play piano, they'll always go over and they'll start playing.
And they call it chopsticks because you just use.
Oh, okay, great. Make that correlation.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
a
see that? The
chopstick?
chopsticks.
Ah,
Yeah, that's good, that's good.
wow. I think my teacher might get crazy because all of a sudden the whole 3 minutes become the fork and chopstick show.
No matter that.
Which I love it. I mean, but I just say he's probably looking for more like personal touch.
And you just say, hey, you gotta laugh. Kind of what I'm here for, you know. I told my story, I gotta laugh. Did you get a laugh? I don't think so. So maybe you need more chopsticks, buddy. Solve your humor problem.
Also, a fine defensive weapon. You get attacked by a mugger, right for the eyes. Yeah.
Or if you're in the situation and people, you know, people are cut and grabby on you, you can teach them nice manners very quickly. Slap a few things. Wrap those knuckles. No, my broccoli. All ideas. Spinning
Thank
on
you.
things. So
Yes,
a prop.
this is
A prop can
right.
be a great aid for humor, the right prop. And fish out of water is marvelous. So the great thing about being foreigner is you get a huge comedy trove. All you gotta do is talk about how they do things over there that's normal, and you come over here. You Americans are crazy. You're nuts. There was a guy a while back at the humor speech contest. He was, you know, where he's from, but he talked about different things. You know, drive up pharmacies. What are you thinking about? Everything's drive up over here.
Oh, I know that guy. He
Pharmacies.
was from Denmark.
Oh yeah, Denmark. There you go.
I was thinking of him earlier today.
It was hilarious. Remember any of the other stuff he did? I know he talked about all the differences and we would drive up everything.
You know, when you were the reason I was thinking of him was he gave a really good speech about evaluations, and he said he belonged to Michigan Avenue, and when he used to come home, you know, they also would do the write-up, and he'd look at the stuff and they'd say, "Great speech! Oh, really good speech!" And he hated it, and he would just get furious because the only things that helped him were when people said, "You should try this," or "You kept touching your hair." So he would try to incorporate, you know, if there were
Or why do
five.
you have chopsticks all the time? I didn't understand it. It didn't make any sense.
So that was what I was thinking of that guy.
Any other brainstorming? Because this is really great. The camera's running, it's all getting recorded, so it doesn't matter whether you see it, you can hear it. That's the idea.
Yeah, this is
To
cool.
take it back and
Anywhere, what about thoughts around the small talk part?
small talk.
Yeah.
I did think that was funny. I did think that was funny.
But it may be a separate piece.
What was
Yes.
that part?
About
That was,
what you eat.
Oh yeah, that's good. now do taglines off that. So you talk at the wedding, we talk about, you know, what do you eat?
Mm-hmm.
Did you eat?
Did you eat?
Yeah.
And the rudest thing you can do is say, yes.
Is that the word? No, she said yeah. You're supposed to say
You're
Are
yes.
you supposed to say yes?
What if you say no?
No, you cannot say no.
You cannot say no.
Like when people ask how are you, you never say
That's right. So you can explain it that way. Sometimes when people ask you how you are, you never really tell them because they get really upset at you. Oh, I'm having a horrible day. It's like, who are these people? Just go away. Same thing here. You've always eaten. The answer is always yes or well.
yes. You always ate.
Yes. Did you eat?
Yes. I ate.
And then what if I said yes? Yesterday I had a fine
Yeah.
deluxe tuna sandwich.
Exactly. And then you have those.
No, we don't care about what did you actually eat. We just
Exactly.
want to know if you eat.
Did you eat?
Did you eat?
Did you eat? Yes or no? It's a yes or no
It's just a
question.
greeting.
So is
Exactly.
there anything else besides the did you eat?
You mean the other way to greet it?
Well, yeah, any other small talk that would be common. That's weird.
In Taiwan, I think we like to ask very personal questions, way more personal, a lot faster than here.
So
Ah.
Like in
what?
3 sentences, I would ask, like for example, what do you do? Does that make good money? How much? How much?
That's great.
And then are you supposed to tell the truth, or if I make $100, do I say yes? I made $22,000.
A day.
What are you supposed to answer to that? Is it supposed to be the truth?
You just what? a lot, or well, some people try to dodge it, but I think in Taiwan sometimes people go into the very personal questions so quickly. Like here, people can talk about weather for half an hour, speaking about weather.
Right, as you say.
And this is comedy gold. Come on. What's the matter with you? Who cares about the weather? Find the good stuff. How much do you make?
How much do you make?
How much do you make?
What's your job? Are they hiring?
Like, are you married? Do you have kids? Where do they study? Oh, in America. Is she seeing someone? And start to try to find
The
a
matchmaker thing.
matchmaker. Yeah.
Oh, she's seeing somebody else. My son makes more money than him.
That's right. There you go. So you can talk about your experiences over here when you're trying to make casual conversation. So I came over here making casual conversation. Say, oh, so what do you do? How much you make? Are you hiring?
haven't seen
And they
anybody.
just looked at me
Excuse me.
and said, yeah. I said, excuse me. And
Did
that's
you
when I
notice
realized
it's
that-
raining?
Yeah, that's when I realized you Americans are crazy. That's normal Taiwanese behavior. What's the matter with you? Are you trying to hide something?
Here's another one. I don't know if Taiwanese do this, but I have a Filipino friend, and we've joked about this before. Filipinos will make extremely personal comments like, "Oh, damn, I see you eating much weight. Have you been eating too much?" You're looking very thin. Do you have a disease?
Yes, I do. How would you like to hide it?
Well, look,
It's
this
very
is interesting.
contagious.
This is a culture thing. I was at a fabulous workshop yesterday, and she said that the people in Africa say, "I see you."
Yes,
You know, when they
exactly.
see each other, I see
Yeah.
you.
I see
So
you.
it was a little boy who didn't like because the other boy was staring at him.
Right.
You know, so I was wondering if they have any type of see yous in China. Like, is it okay to look at somebody? Is that offense?
Actually, not. I think the eye contact is okay between peers, among peers, but with authority, you don't never look at them in the eyes.
Oh, you don't look at the authorities?
But you don't look at your teachers in their eyes.
You look
or
the teacher in the
not.
eye.
No.
Oh, no?
No.
So I was
Authority.
So even if I say,
Oh, do that.
Huh?
Do that. That's the meekness thing when you do kind of bow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to my job.
Make sure you don't bump into things though. Make sure you.
I was going to my job the first day. I wanted to show proper deference. I'm walking around like this. All right. My boss finally said, "Julie, I'm talking something to the prostitute." People are crazy. You look the boss right in the eye. That's dangerous, don't you know?
how rude.
They don't know how to get you. So rude you people are.
Yeah. So we're rude, we're boring,
Exactly. And that's hostile. That's the target. The target can be Americans.
and we're fat.
Americans love to be hostile to Americans. This is a huge, huge thing.
Yeah, and that's a three thing. We're rude. Americans are rude because we look people right in the eye. We're boring because we talk about the weather when we could be finding out the good stuff about people.
There you go.
And we're fat because we don't have the secret weapon.
And
Exactly.
guess what else? We are very rude. When I was in London, everybody do a Q. Is that?
Oh, yeah, the lines.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
We don't
very
line
rude.
up. Forget
We'll
it.
walk in front of you in a minute.
No, nobody queues up. You try to queue up here, and you're not going to go far. Get on the subway. Let's queue up for the elevator. For the escalator. I don't think so.
Nice.
Yeah.
We should do
That's
this more
right.
often. Thank you so